Welcome to Tunnel Talk, and No Facts, All Feelings wrestling podcast on the Social Suplex Network. I'm Allie.
I'm Leah.
And I'm Jeremy.
Oh, welcome, Jeremy.
That felt so natural. Didn't that feel so right?
Just roll off the tongue.
not as right as if you were over on their podcast, Leah, but still pretty good.
It's true. We were a beautiful threesome over there.
Yeah, it was a great episode. It's one of our highest downloaded episodes that month, too.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, it's my bell-like voice.
Leah is a real draw. I think she's the fan favorite of our podcast, I believe. And I'm glad that she could give you guys a little of that rub. Jeremy, of course, is joining us from one of our brother podcasts on the Social Suplex Network, Keepin' It Strong Style, where they're covering New Japan Pro Wrestling. As you guys know, we just had our little crossover show with New Japan Pro Wrestling Forbidden Door. As Ann is busy with other things that she can feel free to share about when she's here next week, if she chooses. We thought it'd be a great time to have Jeremy
if we
on the pod.
Don't keep Jeremy.
I guess she said. I don't know why I'm playing coy, and she can tell you. She won't. Jeremy, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I've been waiting for the day to be invited on a Tunnel Talk. I love you guys' podcast. It's been great. Again, I know y'all listen to the podcast and have you guys a part of the network. It's been, like a year now?
Yeah.
A little more than
a little more.
We must be a year and a half now. Yeah, it's been great. We love you guys.
Yeah, we love you guys. It's been great getting to know you guys too. And yeah, we're so excited to have you. And we do want to start with a pretty important topic. Now, we usually start recording at 7 Central. It's a little later than that because you had a little something going on before recording. Are you prepared to tell us a little bit about that?
Immediately when he dropped this, we were like, we are not asking you questions right now because we're going to interrogate you on air. And Jeremy also is going to be our What's Making Me Happy this week. So he has quite a few things to share, but let's start with
yeah, so I had a couples dance class.
Yes!
So for this year, my wife and I, we were like, we want to be more active and want to do some more date nights. So we found something that kind of combined that goal together. And so, found couples dance classes. So we've been doing it since March or April. And so we've learned hustle, bachata, and rumba.
Ooh, that's awesome.
So what's the format? It's like you're moving through different dances throughout the year?
Yeah, so they started out with hustle. I guess that's the quote-unquote, the easiest one to learn. And so they show you the basics there, and then they start adding turns and moving across the dance floor, and then they'll teach you another dance. And then so every week you kind of focus on one of those 3 or 4 dances, and they kind of add on a new spin, a new twist, a new turn.
Is it fun?
It's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Have you been able to use anything you've learned outside of class? Have you taken your wife out to dance?
Not yet, but that leans into what's making me happy.
Ooh, okay, we'll let you transition in, and then we can interrogate you about both.
Yeah.
That was so smooth, Jeremy. It's like you've done this before.
Well, what's making me happy is I have a lot of travel coming up.
Awesome.
So one thing, next week I'm going to San Francisco. Got a work conference out there. And then at the end of the month, my wife and I are going to Norway for 2.5 weeks on a cruise. So there will be dance opportunities on the cruise. And so
that's cool.
Okay.
That is really cool.
That's awesome. I've been to Norway.
Oh, really? Nice.
I studied in grad school, and I don't know why this happened, to be honest. I think I wanted a grant, and I did get the grant. I took Norwegian for a year. And I don't remember any of it, really.
I was just going to say, can you give him any tips to how to get by when he does his off-the-boat excursions?
Not really at all. Immediately, my brain is blank. I'm just no. It's Snakke du norsk? Do you speak Norwegian? I think. What is it? Where are you going? Around the top?
Honestly, I don't know what the path is. I know that. I remember the cities now because the whole thing is it's the Northern Lights kind of base cruise. So we're trying to see Northern Lights. So one of the excursions is you go out in the middle of the night and they try to help you find the Northern Lights.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
That really does. That really sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to now. I'm like I can name some Norwegians. Bergen, I think is one. Oslo definitely is one.
Yeah, Oslo. Yep. Those are two that we're going to. Yep.
Wow, this has been huge for me.
Points on the board.
You're gonna have an amazing time. It's so beautiful there.
Nice. I'm a little worried about the cold. Yeah. I'm not a huge cold weather fan. My wife is, so.
I think it'll be. When are you going?
September 24th.
I bet it'll be okay. I don't know why I said. I don't know. I actually don't know. I have no idea. But I just want it to be really great for you, so I'm like, I think it will be.
I'm so happy thinking about Jeremy and his wife doing the hustle under the northern lights.
I know. Well, yeah, but there's definitely going to be like cruise dance stuff where you can show off your moves.
Yep. So we're planning to bust out some moves on the dance floor.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Nights.
I love that. You should see if you can get somebody to film you, at least so the Social Suplex crew can see you in your element on the cruise.
We'll try. Ask a random stranger.
Yeah, and we'll put that behind the paywall.
Yes.
Oh my God, yes. And we'll be like
on our medical Patreon.
Pay what you think this is worth. People are throwing 20s.
You're getting all my money.
Well, and this will be a grand reveal when people listen to this episode, because I really haven't talked about my couples dance class.
Josh isn't quizzing you on that?
That was our first question. We were like, why has this never come up before? Like, and I think we were explicitly like, why isn't Josh asking you about that? Do you think this is this how he learns about the dance classes?
Yes, I guarantee it
is. There's so much to unpack about the communication of men.
Yeah, I think I have told Rich. I think Rich and I talked about it in Texas, but I think Rich might be the only one that knows out of the whole crew.
He's feeling smug right now. I know what my friend's activities are.
My friends.
Well, I love that. You're going to have to keep us updated going forward about what dances you get into.
Yeah.
I recently have been thinking for some reason a lot about dancing. I had a friend who was really into like ballroom dancing and used to like take classes for that. And it does just seem like that would be a good activity for all of us to get back into. Like you go out in public, you have civilized interaction with other human beings.
Yeah. Yeah. It's active, but it's not like crazy active. It's not like a huge investment. Yeah, it seems fun. Should we all get into dancing?
Yeah. You should have a Social Suplex dance group.
Yes. Jeremy, trend setting. Well, thank you so much for letting us interrogate you about it. And thank you for sharing what's making you happy. I will, at the very least, even if you don't get a random stranger to film you dancing, I will be expecting to see some pictures from the cruise.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. There'll be tons of pics.
Amazing. Okay, so we're going to get into, we'll be talking Forbidden Door and Dynamite. And Leah knows this. I'll warn you, Jeremy, this schedule is, let's hope it makes sense, because there were a lot of overlapping storylines and a lot of nested topics, it turned out. But we're going to start with a nice broad one and just say, this year's Forbidden Door, how did you feel like it compared to previous years, both in the build and in the execution, the actual show?
Jeremy, as our New Japan correspondent, you're getting the first crack.
Yes, you're up.
Yeah, I felt like this year's Forbidden Door was probably the least Forbidden Door-y feeling show.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, obviously, I know kind of, we've lost a lot of top stars from New Japan, and, AEW has a pay-per-view to sell, and so it just kind of felt like more of an AEW show with some New Japan and some Stardoms and CBLs kind of sprinkled throughout, which is fine. I get it. But yeah, the spirit of the show is supposed to be this kind of big crossover, dream matches, dream team. And so that was kind of lacking. Honestly, I felt like the pre-show was probably like the most Forbidden Door part of the whole pay-per-view.
Yeah,
right. It was.
It seemed And I was surprised that they didn't even do, like, there has been so many New Japan people that's come over recently. They didn't even do any, like, goofs, like, where Ospreay and Tanahashi saw each other backstage, you know what I mean, and like made like a how'd you get here sort of thing, you know what I mean, like nobody did those kind of goofs or in any way. Like I just thought like that would have been so much more fun than just being like, and this is happening.
And I know I thought it was crazy that like Ishii wasn't in a match, like the most like crossover guy for both companies wasn't featured on the show. Just one smooth spot with Lance Archer. And so, I just felt like there could have been maybe some more done to make it feel more Forbidden Door. And I get the schedule was weird this year with it being after the G1 and after the 5-star Grand Prix. And there was a bunch of CMLL people who were booked on their show. So I know there was a lot of complications there, but I still wish that there was more kind of that feeling from the first two shows where it was wow, with this big crossover. We're getting Will versus Kenny. We're getting, Mox versus Tanahashi. We're getting these kind of big matches. I felt like that was kind of missing from the essence of this show.
Yeah. It was funny because, so on the one hand, I don't know that much about it, but I do understand some of that. They maybe couldn't get guys because of the G1. I understood there were some structural things that might be preventing them from having a lot of crossover. And I kind of wondered if they were trying not to draw attention to the crossover aspect in a big way because I don't think I'm phrasing this right, but basically I was I wonder if they're just trying to be well, let's not really talk about it that much because we don't want to asking too many questions. Yeah. But at the same time, it did it made me feel it was a really great pay-per-view. I had a really wonderful time, but it did make me be and in this day and age, what is a Forbidden Door? Especially after all these years of the back and forth and having had so many people from New Japan and now place like Stardom to come to AEW now, it is kind of do we need to sit down and just think about what does this mean? What does it mean to have a show that's interacting with other promotions? I was wondering.
Yeah, I think that hopefully next year it'll be better with the schedule. But I definitely think there should be some more communication and just more of a build to this show. And I think this is actually the one show where you don't really need a ton of storylines per se. I think you can just throw out some cool matches and be here's, this New Japan guy versus AEW guy, and it's cool because of this. I don't think you necessarily need somebody set on fire to build to a Forbidden Door match. I think you can have a lot more creativity because you kind of know, all right, all these other companies are coming in. I felt with the Zack Sabre match with Nigel, I felt there could have been built up more, especially since it's the world title. I wish there would have been more of a story there with Nigel kind of maybe chasing world titles throughout the year to build up to facing Zack. But I feel lower card matches, you really don't need a ton of story. It could have thrown Ishii versus whoever or just some other lower card guys.
Right.
Fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think as people who don't always know a lot of the New Japan guys, we've often enjoyed those lower card matches where we were just sort of in the past been who are these people? Oh, they're fun. They're doing something cool. You actually if you're not going to, if you don't have 3 to 4 weeks with these people, then I don't think you should try to do too many complicated builds. Just doing fun matches really does feel more in the spirit.
Yeah, you can do your big marquee match. So, you have Hangman versus MJF in your big world title match, and then you fill the card with other kind of fun, kind of dream scenarios. And I feel they really didn't do that. Kind of like you were saying, it's they realize, all right, we're not going to have a ton of guys, so let's just kind of shy away from that. It's mainly an AEW show. Yeah, we'll throw you Hiromu, we'll throw you Bozilla, and don't ask us any more questions.
Yeah, exactly. You're trying to ask questions. Tony's and another thing about the show, I think we all had a really nice time. We love our friends in New Japan. I think that's right. I did. Oh God, what was I? I was just going to say something and it immediately flew out of my head. So excited by my Tony impression was I? Well, we'll never know now. I was going to say the one thing that in years past we've enjoyed little bits of. We've never gotten a full scale version of it, but they didn't really have it at all this year. Was if it's for Forbidden Door, my mind immediately goes to it's Camp Wars. NJPW is on the other side of the lake. We're on this side of the lake. They came over. They raided our cabins. I want a little bit of a vibe of oh my God, we got all these people coming in here. We have to protect our home turf.
Yeah. I've always wanted them to do a New Japan versus AEW match. They do big multi-mans, but it's always mixed on both sides. It would be so fun at some point to do an us versus them for fun match, full of fun people, but they never do.
They never do. Well,
yeah, I think long-time WWE fans are probably like gagging at that just because of Survivor Series and the whole like brand supremacy between Raw and SmackDown. But
Jeremy, I worry that long-term WWE fans are gagging at almost everything we say.
Yeah, we often are inventing something we think sounds so cool, and somebody will be like, "They did it for years on WWE and it sucked then," and I'm like, "Well, our version would rule.
It would be really good if we did it.
So fun."
Yeah, I mean, AEW, like a team AEW versus Team New Japan probably would end up being better than anything.
Yeah.
WWE has done. Yeah, it could be a cool match.
And it would be fun to just do it in a way. I think it's like a lot of it would be you want to have a good tone. You want it to be like a kind of a good natured tone and not be like, we hate your company, but be like, we're proud of our company and we want to prove that it's the best.
I would want it to be a capture the flag kind of vibe, not like a I'm genuinely going to kill you. It's like,
I want to put your company out of business.
No. And I believe we might hear something about that attitude with some questions we have for you later. I think with that, let's get into the actual matches and storylines. So we're going to start with our big marquee match, Hangman and MJF. They fought and Hangman won. And then I was doing the schedule and I read through the whole match description and kept being like, which parts of this do I think that I have to describe? And kept not finding parts that I had to describe. I really enjoyed it. But I think the plot relevant stuff is that towards the end of the match, MJF hit Bryce. I wish I had tracked this better in the moment. MJF somehow hit Bryce and then pinned Hangman, and Hangman's foot was on the ropes. And Bryce wasn't hit bad enough that he couldn't do the count, but he was hit bad enough that as soon as he finished the count, he collapsed into a dead state.
That was the most inexplicable thing where I was just like, wait, why'd he die now?
Yeah. Yeah, the whole build to the match, it was great at first, and then when they kind of just reversed everything with MJF, getting ready to set Mark Briscoe on fire and getting the contract back, I was like, all right, I already kind of know what it's going to be. Yeah. He's going to try and make Hangman try to DQ himself, and it's going to be really dumb. And the beginning part of the match, I thought the first part of the match was like really great. We're used to seeing Hangman and MJF. They have great chemistry, but then they kind of went to all the shenanigans of like, all right, I'm going to try and make it mad so he can get disqualified, and then like Hangman puts him through a table. I'm like, is that not a DQ? Okay, I guess not. And then with Bryce, like he counts to 3 perfectly fine and just dies.
It was the kind of thing where, as like, I thought I'd missed something, basically. I thought that I'd missed something huge because I was like, how on earth could he have counted and then collapsed? And then later was just like, I guess I didn't miss anything. I guess that's just like a medical anomaly they came up with.
And not only did he count, he twisted his body purposely away from Hangman's foot while he was counting.
Bryce, idiot.
Then he dies, and then Mark Briscoe comes out, and nothing really happens. They just yell at him and tell him to go back to the locker room.
Yeah, Mark Briscoe came out being like, ref, like it's not legal. And then so many security guards were like, sir, you cannot be here. And it was like, this guy of all guys, you're going to stop? Like, you would not believe the guys we have running out all the time, and security never comes to deal with them.
Where were they when he was about to be set on fire?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, now you care?
They were like, we were on our union mandated break, and yes, I do respect it. Yes, of course I respect it, but maybe we could time those a little better,
He's like, legally, you can't talk to me during this 15 minutes, so sorry about the fire.
If he burns, he burns.
So Bryce is lying there in his dead faint, and then he comes to just as MJF has noticed, due to Mark Briscoe screaming, that Hangman's foot is on the rope. So MJF really thought he won for real, I think, for a minute, which I think he ended up, we'll get to it. I thought he kind of sold that actually kind of well on Dynamite, that he had a moment of being like, I did do a good job. And he didn't. But he goes to try and move the leg off, and then wakes up just in time and spins around to be like,
stupid.
And so then he's like, I guess he's like I don't know the rules of wrestling, to be honest, really. So he's like, I didn't call the winner. I just counted it, but I didn't actually call the winner. So I'm not calling the winner. So get back to work. So they get back into the match, and MJF then is pulling out so much stuff out of his panties. He's hidden anything you can imagine.
Sometimes it's like Mary Poppins' purse in there. He's
how much does Kate fit in there?
Yeah, exactly.
I know. If he had pulled the full clipboard out of there, I wouldn't really have been surprised. I would have been like, yeah, sure. Okay, it's like Barney's bag. But he tried everything. He tried with the clipboard. He'd rescued his Dynamite Diamond ring. Was this before or after the Hangman thing?
The Diamond ring? I think it was after.
What was Hangman's thing? Hangman was like, had the ring?
No,
or was that the clipboard?
The clipboard.
Hangman had the ring at one point.
Yeah.
And then he threw it.
Yes. That was the moment you were referencing.
Oh,
I think.
yeah.
Like,
then when he was tempted. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did think that was a little bit silly because that hasn't been a part of the build at all, that MJF was going to tempt it. Like, you're not really a good person. You'll cheat if you want to. Like, that wasn't part of it. So then it just made me, I was like a little bit like, I don't buy it. He's not that tempted.
I think that I interpreted it kind of as, I interpreted Hangman's acting as like, are you kidding me? You think that this is a good approach? Maybe I'll hit you. No, I'm not going to fucking hit you with your Dynamite Diamond ring, you dumbass. So I think I saw it that way, but we were so deep in the shenanigans that it wasn't hard to tell. Clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole, this ending was just super flunky, because like usually in a scenario like this, like, with the Mark Briscoe run out, normally in wrestling history, so that the wrestler would come out with a referee. The second ref would be like, no, ref, his foot was on the rope. We need to restart the match. Yeah. There's a little bit more explanation on what's happening there, but that didn't happen. Then Bryce just, magically revives. And it's like, oh, his foot was actually on the ropes. Like, how'd you know? You turned your body like 360 away from his foot.
It was just so funny to be like, and it's just been there the whole time.
And suddenly he could restart the match then. But that call that never made sense to me weeks and weeks ago, where it was like, it was Ricochet. Oh, who was it? Was it Ricochet, somebody, and Kenny, that they did like a 3-person pin? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Somebody, and then they were like, oh, we couldn't, the match was no contest because it was unclear who did the pin. And it was like, oh, but you couldn't keep wrestling then. Then you had to stop the match and just call it no contest. But here you were able to restart it. Stupid.
It's situational, Leah. It's just situational, okay? Context dependent.
Hey, Leah, wrestling is fake. I don't know if you know that.
And anyway, so MJF got hit with his own clipboard and he got buckshot lariated and he lost the match. And then I guess at the scrum afterwards, Toni was like, and again, actually from now on, MJF he has to register a week in advance if he wants to use his contract. And stop yelling at me, and I don't want to hear about it anymore. I'm sorry, I don't want to hear about it.
Everyone on Twitter, get out of my replies.
You're being so mean to me. Jeremy, do you have, and I'm so sorry if it's insensitive to ask, do you have cash-in damage from watching wrestling for a long time? I'm so sorry, and tell me if there's another way that I should phrase it.
That's a good term for it, cash-in damage. I mean, yes, but I don't get as mad as some other people get about it. Like, I agree. Like, I don't think AEW should do it because it is such a WWE coded thing, and other companies have copied it too, and it's kind of been overdone. And so I agree, like, AEW should try to be original and kind of steer away from that. But at the same time, I wasn't like losing my mind on the internet like some people were. You
didn't personally DM Tony Khan. Be like, you can't keep doing this to me. TK, you can't keep doing this to me. I think by the time we got to after last week's segment that we were like, I think this is crazy. Yeah. We were like, yeah, we get it. Okay, yeah, I guess get rid of cash. I guess if you don't want to do something fun, get rid of cash-ins.
I think my argument usually when the internet is like, you can't, like, AEW can't do this because WWE did it. I often am like, yeah, but like it's not fair because WWE has been around for so long to say that AEW can never steal any of those tropes. It's like, okay, well, you've cut them off from like the entire history of wrestling. But it is very funny in this sense that I was like, give them a chance. Maybe they won't fuck it up. And then they fucked it up. And I was like, all right, fine, kill them.
All right, then don't give him a chance next time. Chance rescinded.
Okay, I agree. We should not do captions.
I would say that overall, actually, I did mostly really enjoy this match, and I didn't get mad about the mechanics of the ending, because I do take a certain amount of enjoyment in being like, wow, what's happening? That does not make sense. I'm confused. So I wasn't mad or anything, but I was interested in like what the planning process was like, basically, and kind of like, why did you do some of this stuff this way? Especially when I'm like, Hangman, you're generally very good at not doing stuff like that.
That was definitely one of the questions I had, where I was like, this was a very MJF match, but Hangman's the champ. So shouldn't he be able to be like, no, we wrestle my way, bitch?
You kind of think, maybe.
Maybe Hangman didn't care since he wasn't the actual main event of the show. He's like, fine, whatever. Yeah. We'll do it your way this time.
You can have this one.
That's politicking, I think. Because I'm banking some credit for when it actually matters.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I'll give in now, but I'm saving this. I'll bring it up at a later date.
Don't worry.
Wait till next month.
I'll cash in. So we got an MJF promo on Dynamite kind of following up. It was backstage after the match. And he was saying like, oh, you want me to sit here and be cocky? You guys all proved my point. Like, you know, I do shit, you're mean to me. Hangman does shit. He's your golden god. I deserve better than the way I'm treated this company by this company and by the fans. And then he promised to challenge again next time for Hangman's soul. Devil went down to Georgia style. And then he also did say, and yes, I do still want to murder you, Mark Briscoe. I've had it up to here with you. And Mark Briscoe had a promo where he was like, that's crazy, because I had just had a baby. So I'm really more concerned with my little baby, but baby, kill me if you want.
Can you believe that's baby number 9?
No.
That's wild.
That's so many.
He's trying to compete with Don Callis' family.
He's got a mansion with bunk beds. He's raising the next DCF.
Briscoes versus Don Callis' family. Let's go.
You know what? I know how wrestling works now. It's happening. 20 years from now, it's happening. So this is where we get one of our nested topics, kind of. So Mark Briscoe, in his promo, is also like, oh, and by the way, though, MJF, whatever, but I do want to challenge Kyle Fletcher for the TNT title, which he could do because Kyle Fletcher had a match at Forbidden Door versus Hiromu Takahashi. Was it for the belt?
Yeah, I think it was for the belt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he retained. So let's talk about that match now. And we will let you go first, Jeremy. What did you think of that? I think that kind of meets the criteria of you were saying of like, you can just have a match. You can, for the Forbidden Door, you can just have a cool match.
Yeah, I thought the match was very fun. Hiromu, one of the remaining top stars in New Japan for, last decade or so, one of the top junior heavyweights. He's been dabbling a little bit more in the heavyweight division in the last year or so. And so, yeah, I thought he looked really good. Great reception from the crowd. And he busted out some moves that he hasn't really done in a while. The sunset flip powerbomb to Kyle Fletcher to the floor was cool. He even invented a heavyweight version of his finisher to do it on bigger guys like Kyle Fletcher. So that was cool as well. And so, yeah, Hiromu's he's a fun, crazy dude. I feel like you guys would love Hiromu.
Okay, I do have a bunch of follow-up questions, but I want to say I love that. I love that he tried for us. We're not really used to people trying.
People don't usually
try that hard, but that's amazing. Now, Hiromu, we watched one match with him. I think Trish assigned it to us for one of her reviews. So we watched one New Japan match. I think it was
him versus Naito.
I thought it was teaming with Naito.
Oh.
So him and Naito won against the Bucks earlier this year.
Yes.
I did know that, but I don't think I watched.
Did
I watch it?
Yes,
you did. I probably did.
I can't believe I have to tell you that. Yes,
my brain was focused on who was in that match that Trish asked us to watch, but it doesn't matter. But so we saw him with the cat Daryl, which we loved it. He seems like a complete freak, like just a little mischievous little imp. Is that like his vibe, that he's just like very playful and mischievous?
Yes, you never know what Hiromu is going to do. There's like one backstage thing where he was trying to break the record of zipping his pants up and down really fast. So you just see him going like, like this in the back. And you can only imagine what that looks like at certain angles. And then he has a really interesting entrance gear sometimes. Like his Wrestle Kingdom gear, he'll have like this big coat jacket with a bunch of like eyeball things like hanging off of his jacket. And then the whole Daryl cat family thing. He's just a really crazy, wild dude. And when you see the translations for his promos, they're all usually wild, and he's always screaming or crying, or you just never know what he's going to do to him.
I love that. He does seem like you can tell just from the small amounts that we've seen him. I'm like, that guy, he's a little freak in the best possible way.
Yeah, and we love that.
Now,
is he also known, though? Sorry, Leah.
No, finish that.
And he's also known, though, for being like a huge hunk, though, right? Because I did think he was quite cute. I like the look of that man.
Honestly, I don't think I've ever heard anybody really.
Oh, dibs. You're like, no one's ever really said that. No.
That's crazy. He is quite cute.
He's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Leah, you.
The junior weight heavyweight thing, I'm very interested in because I knew that I think I'd heard someone on commentary say that he was in the junior heavyweight or the whatever division. But when he stands near Zack Sabre Jr., it's not like they seem like they're in wildly different weight classes. Is that mostly made up too?
Yeah.
So I think there's a little bit of playing around with people's weights as far as that divisions. But I think, honestly, in Japan, I think the height is more of an importance to be a heavyweight, which is why Zack has always been more of a heavyweight than a junior because he's just so tall. But I'm sure, I mean, Zack has put on a lot of muscle since he's been wrestling. But like Zack, like 5 years ago, was like a string bean. So it's like, is he really a heavyweight? I don't know, but he's tall, so we'll let him slide. But yeah, Hiromu, I mean, Hiromu's the same height as he's taller than Ishii, and he's pretty thick. So I mean, I think he could slide as a heavyweight, but for whatever reason, he stays in the junior division.
And when you say that he adapted his finisher like for more of a heavyweight, for the to be more of a heavyweight move, what did he do?
So it's just kind of a different variation. So his finisher is called the time bomb, and he already has different time bomb variations. There's time bomb 1, time bomb 1.5. Time bomb 2.
I love this. I'm in love with him.
And so for this for the heavyweights, he created the time bomb Q, because in Japanese you say heavy Q as like the heavyweight, and so the time bomb Q was like the time bomb version of doing it to heavyweights, which he did to Kyle Fletcher. It's more of kind of like the fireman's carry kind of slam thing where he throws them down that way.
That's really cute.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Wow. Well, we like him. We'd like to see him again. Please, Toni, can we see him again? Yeah, but he did lose to Kyle Fletcher, and Kyle Fletcher is going to fight Mark Briscoe. And anything else we have to say about any of that before we move on to the next confusing part of this section?
I will say I do feel like they kind of were trying to retcon some of the MJF Mark Briscoe stuff of making it be like, oh, Mark Briscoe was the reason why I lost. Was like, not really.
No, Mark Briscoe just came out and was like, hey, hang on a minute. It feels like anyone could have done that. Yeah, but he didn't really interfere.
Yeah.
Okay, so also at Forbidden Door, I've said Tony's multi-man steel cage match for wrestlers who are hurt real bad in both body and spirit, and the men charged with minding them. Main event of the show.
It's a title that really rolls off the tongue.
Yes. So this one had, can we name all the men? If I look at the list, I can. We had Darby Allin, Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Will Ospreay on the side of good. And then we have Claudio Castagnoli, Jon Moxley, Gabe Kidd, and the Young Bucks on the side of evil. This match had everything. It wouldn't be worth listing the things that this match had. What did you enjoy or find interesting in this match?
I mean, the overall match was very entertaining. It was a party. It was a party match in a cage. It's like the all-star tag match format inside of a cage with plunder. And I just had a really good time. I know a lot of people didn't like the gummy bear spot, and thought the match wasn't violent enough or whatever the case was, but I don't know. I had a really great time throughout the whole match.
I thought the match wasn't violent enough is so funny when there was probably the grossest spot I've seen in my time as a wrestling fan that was just Jon Moxley just repeatedly in a close-up stabbing a fork into Darby Allin's ear. In a close-up.
Yeah. I thought the match was just a lot of fun. And then, Gabe and Darby dying off the cage through tables. I love the spot where Tanahashi is trying to climb the ladder and everybody's like, no. Your knees are cooked, bro. You will not make your retirement match if you go any higher. Please. If Kota Ibushi is telling you to stop, you know something.
That's when you need to be scared. Yeah.
I don't believe, though, that Kota Ibushi got there on his own. I feel like he got coached by Kenny, who was like, and remember, we're not going to encourage that kind of behavior. And Ibushi's like, why though?
So Tanahashi does have a retirement match scheduled? Is it like at the end of the year?
Yeah, so January 4th, 2026 is his retirement match.
Wow. Yeah, because I feel like the only thing we knew about him was that his knees are gone and he's the beautiful president.
Yeah, this has been his retirement tour all year. He's wrestled more singles matches this year than he has pretty much almost ever.
Wow.
And his knees and everything are just hurt. I don't know how he survived the G1 and flew to London. I don't know how he's walking right now, but yeah, he's in a lot of pain.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I thought that the match seemed set up really well because so Tanahashi, the knees are dead. Will Ospreay, well, maybe we'll get more into that in a little bit, but dying on some level. We don't know what kind of dying going on, and we'll talk about that more. Kenny, of course, mentally on Mars, perhaps coming back to us now, but there was a lot of unwellness on at least one side of this. I felt like the match was set up really well.
Yeah. I would not have been surprised to find out that Kenny got dragged up the tunnel and then deposited on stage for his entrance.
Like
and
a hissing cat.
I don't want to.
It's like he got dropped on the ramp and then was like looking around like, I gotta go. And then just like, it was the easiest thing to bolt towards was the ring. And that's what they were banking on. They were like, if he's scared, he'll probably go to the ring and then we'll lock him in. So
yeah.
That's what the cage was for, to keep Kenny in.
This is where I wish we had like long form BTE, because I would love to see like Kenny's reaction to seeing the match announcement on Dynamite.
I know.
He's playing on his phone. 10-man cage of Kenny. What?
I know.
I'm doing what now?
Just immediately looks so upset. Just like, who did this to me? And it's like everyone else in the match is outside the dressing room being like, we've prepared for this moment. Okay, we're going to get him through this. But he will be in that match. Yes, he's going to be there.
Someone's got an intervention sign.
I know. Kenny, we promise you'll love it. Once you're there, you'll love it. That's like me about any party. I'm like, I'm not going. And then I get there and it's like, I'm wasted and I'm having a blast.
It was a good time.
But it felt like Tanahashi didn't seem like he was going to die in the match. Like mostly. I mean, not actively. I wasn't like, oh God, this seems really bad. I was like, it seems like you're doing well. You seem like you're doing a good job for given some of the things I know about what's going on with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he tried, and, he says he never gets tired. And, he was doing his thing. Was a little scared towards the end when he's going for the high fly flow, his frog splash. He's a little wobbly, but he made it. Perfect landing. He got it. Got the win for the team. So yeah, he was the best he could.
He had all those good guy teammates cheering him on, being like, "You can do this. You've got this." And they had the Young Bucks babysitters in there being like, okay, just drop on us. Everyone just drop on us. Anytime you're feeling just a little upset, you just fall on us. We got you.
We'll catch you.
We'll catch you. So they have, the aforementioned gummy bear spot. They've got the tables. They've got the floor. There were some handcuffs at one point in this match. Men love bringing things into cages.
Yeah.
Claudio tossing Darby to the cage.
My God. I couldn't believe that they followed this up with that Dynamite match, which again, we'll get to. But like Darby came back from Everest so friggin' randy. And then I think Toni was just being like, can you just calm down? Let's just get you to the cage match and then you can do whatever, I guess. Like, can you just be like a little chill? And it feels like he has been like chomping at the bit, and then just got released and was like, kill me, kill me, kill me, kill me, kill me.
Please throw me, please.
Yeah, please. I missed it so much. Nobody would throw me on Everest. He tried to get someone to like kick punt him off the top of Everest. I know he did.
Yeah. I'll never forget JR once being like, and Darby's only happy when he's in pain.
Rare psychological insight from JR.
It adds up based on what I've seen in the last couple of weeks. Yeah, that adds up.
So the good guys won. Tanahashi. I had written in our schedule, Tanahashi pinned for the win. Pinned who? I can't figure that out. It wasn't written in the match description. Leah read that and she goes, Allie, come on. You know. I said, well, I did think it was Matt, but I didn't want to say it was Matt.
Like Matt would let anybody else. He's like, you're not taking this away from me.
He said, Toni, I take my job in this ring really seriously. I'm going to keep everybody safe and I'm going to be the pin pig. And I can't wait to get pinned. And then afterwards, Ospreay had a kind of a heartfelt moment with the hometown crowd. He's looking around like, I may never see this from inside a ring before. We were like, we haven't seen this. This wasn't even what Sting's retirement vibe was like. We haven't seen this since like Cody was vamping about leaving his boots in the ring or something.
I've seen enough wrestlers now say goodbye or like talk about like being injured in some way. This has been crazy because it's not even like I think his neck is hurt. His vibe was that he just got a terminal cancer diagnosis and this is his last hurrah.
Yeah. And then the whole like video with Alex Windsor doing that voiceover. I was like, man, like is he retiring?
Yes. And the vibe genuinely is, he's like, if this is it, I want this to be it. Like
that was a Make-A-Wish video. That was like, what's the one thing you want before you die? I guess I'd just like my wife to make a beautiful voiceover video saying that she loves me and that she's sorry that I'll be gone. So he's having this, and then of course the Death Riders come out. They murder him. They murder him a lot. They're so mad they lost. They murder him a lot, and you know who it is. The Ops come out to save him, and those Ops are always there. And that's one thing about them is that I never expect them to be somehow. They come out to save people in this storyline every single week for I don't know, could be 6 months, and every time it happens, I go, "Who's? Oh, okay, yeah, the Ops. Okay, it'll be the Ops."
Sure, it's Samoa Joe. Okay. Someone recently online, Allie saw it, were like, the Ops really need to break up so they can all go solo. And I was like, why? They're three very boring people that somehow are very tolerable together. Why would you break that up?
This has been a boon. This has been a boon for all of them.
Yeah.
And so anyway, they come out and they're like, hey, let him out of that cage. Don't you kill him anymore. And so they bring the cage up and medics come out and they spirit Ospreay away to the hospital and thereafter to the cemetery. And then this week on Dynamite, Hangman said, I'm so sorry he's dead. I know we loved him while we had him, but don't cry because it's over. Laugh because it happened.
Pour one out for Will.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's the end of the pay-per-view. Any further thoughts that we haven't said yet about the death of Will Ospreay?
The only thing is, I think that I kind of wish they didn't really tease it at All In. I feel like you could have just did like the big write-off here, like, instead of doing one at All In also, and then him kind of being like, oh, I don't know if I'm coming back yet. Oh, I'm going to be back for this cage match. I wish it would just been like, all right, he's banged up from that tag match, but he's still good to go, and then just have the direct ending, the write-off be the one big attack here.
Yeah. It's kind of like interesting / confusing for Ospreay and Swerve to have been in that tag match at All In, and both of them at Forbidden Door got a version of a write-off, like where they're going to be gone for some amount of time. I don't know how long. And they were so different. They were just one of them was so normal based on like, how most people get written off for a while. And the other one was so not. And the other one has made me really question, like.
And he wasn't even really gone that. What did he miss? Like 1 week after the All In one? Like,
yeah.
The drama.
I think he missed the All In like after the Dynamite afterwards, and then he came back for the promo, and then I think he missed like 2 weeks until he came back for the cage match promo.
Yeah. the drama was like high enough with the first write-off that he could have just like made that it. It's very funny that they did it twice.
I guess he wanted to wrestle in London. I assume that's like he really wanted to make it there.
I did hear people talking about how it would kind of suck ass for him to be like one of the most advertised and then not be there. But of course, like if somebody's injured, they're injured. But
I love not really understanding the human body and like wrestling injuries though, because he did stuff in the first like 3 minutes of that match. He did that like flip from standing. He was just doing something where it was like, now are you dead or not? What's happening here?
Yeah, I don't really understand neck injuries, and because it's like fairly often people are like, yeah, my neck's messed up and I have to get surgery, but like they're still doing stuff with their neck that I'd be like, is that not making it worse? What's going on?
You just took a DET on the floor, like.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, if I were going to get neck surgery, I just know for a fact that getting out of bed in the morning could take me out. Like they would just be like, ma'am, just don't move until you get the surgery at all. We'd love it if you didn't move a muscle. Can we ask you, Jeremy, what do we need to know about Gabe Kidd? We've seen him a lot.
Yes, so Gabe's very interesting. He's a very polarizing character right now. So his whole kind of deal has been like, I am New Japan. I'm diehard New Japan. I'm the savior of New Japan. He came through the LA dojo under Shibata. And then he stayed in Japan during the pandemic. He had a mental health breakdown, almost killed himself.
Oh, God.
But Tanahashi talked to him a lot throughout that time. He survived COVID, got out of the mental health, and came back to wrestling. And so he really kind of built this kind of like great fanfare from New Japan from going through the pandemic and all the mental health issues and fighting through all that and like kind of being, I am this kind of standout New Japan guy. And then he started making some AEW appearances and being Jon Moxley's, lapdog. And New Japan fans are not very happy about that because all his promos, he's burying AEW and he's like, screw AEW, I'm not going there. I hate them. I hate MJF. I hate Jon Moxley. I hate so-and-so. I know New Japan's number one. And then he's showing up on AEW. He's like, I don't want a paycheck from AEW, but then he's on Dynamite and he's with Moxley. So it's been a very weird dynamic with his character in New Japan and in AEW. And if you watch both, it can be kind of confusing of like, all right, what is his motivations? What's the character? And they've tried to smooth it out by being like, oh, well, the Death Riders want to end AEW, so he's helping them. But I mean, that's not really their goal. So I don't know.
No, not at all. The Death Riders' new motivation, their new thing that they want is to have a fucking great time. And they're killing it. They are having a blast right now.
Yeah, all of them. Since losing the belt, they're all just like, hey, we're here to have fun. We're here to cause trouble.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Gabe Kidd, and he's a member of the Bull Club War Dogs.
Now, the War Dogs were very funny. I watched their promo on Collision, and those three men don't really seem like they hang out like for fun. Like Clark Connors has a very, very different vibe than it wasn't Drusilla. What was his name? Drilla. Yeah. And like I just like the vibes of all three of those men. I was like, now I don't understand how you guys became friends.
I guess that's wrestling brings unexpected people together in unexpected ways, and that's something that is so beautiful about the sport we love.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to Swerve and Okada had their big match at Forbidden Door. Swerve, like Ospreay, got murdered, as we just said. And then I hate to highlight a disrespect, but I will say that AEW.com completely failed to recap this match at all. They left it out. They left it out of the online recap.
It had every other match. It was as if the Swerve Okada match didn't happen. Ooh. That's disrespectful.
Ouch.
You hate to see it. And you especially hate to see it if you're someone who remembers having a good time, but not a lot of the action. So, Jeremy, we thought that we would ask you as an Okada knower, and we've been Okada agnostic because he hasn't like knocked our socks off at AEW, but we like him as a person. where did this rank in the kind of pantheon of Okada matches? Was this like what, good or bad?
I thought it was very good. I wouldn't say it would be his higher end matches. He's had way better matches, even better matches in AEW. But it was a very good match. I mean, a lot of the story of the match was built around him attacking Swerve's knee and Swerve having to overcome the knee to try and defeat him. And I felt like when they were just really hitting that next level, it kind of just ended. Yeah. And I don't know what the whole deal is, but I feel like lately they've been trying to like strengthen the Rainmaker clothesline again. And like, it's like one and done. Whereas like his last run in New Japan, his last few big matches, like people have been kicking out the Rainmaker. He would do multiple Rainmakers, and he got these great like near fall spots. And like now, like starting with the Kenny match, pretty much it's like boom, one Rainmaker, and it's over.
He got the power back. He said, "I figured it out. I was having a glitch, but I figured it out."
So yeah, so like he hit it, and then Swerve didn't kick out. Like, oh, okay,
yeah. So this wasn't a match that, you know, you think maybe would have sent Josh out into the rain outside, or, you know, make Rich Latta contemplate his mortality. Oh no.
No. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot more emotion behind Omega Okada than this.
Yeah, which higher expectation, but it was still one of my favorite experiences.
Yeah. But I didn't expect this match to be. I thought this match would have been better just with it being Swerve and Okada. But at the end of the day, it was very good, and also it was more about telling a story about Swerve's knee and could he overcome the knee injury and then fall into Okada at the end.
Yeah, it did. It felt like it was doing. Yeah, it's because there's kind of a workhorse quality of like, not in a bad way, but like we got to tell the story for reasons. So I enjoyed it. Swerve's knee did get battered during the match, but then I think also then was Ultimo destroyed by the reappearance for the first time in a long time of Wardlow, who has joined the Don Callis family. I think Don Callis might have like, I don't know, like seduced him with like helping him with his self-esteem or something, because he's like really feeling himself, and he came out like strutting his stuff, and he killed the knee, and he's joined what Don Callis hopes will be the largest numerical faction. What is the largest? What do you think on the books historically? What is how many men are we talking? How many men does he have to get in there?
I don't know. Immediately I think about like NWO back in the day, because you had like the NWO Wolfpack and the Black and White, and they came back together. You had the A Team, the B Team, NWO Hollywood. So I don't know. I would guess it would have to be beating one of those NWO.
How big were those getting? How many men are in the Wolfpack?
I think the Wolfpack actually was only 5, but then when they came back together and you had like the B Team and then the NWO Hollywood, like you had like guys like the main eventers were like the NWO like Hollywood, and then the B Team were like your low card guys. So
okay.
So at one point you had like 20 dudes in the NWO shirts, and it's like every week there was like a new member. It's like, this guy's in the NWO now.
Oh, the NWO is the fact. Now that's where I got confused, because I did kind of mentally, I was like, NWO, that's probably like ECW or something. But it's the faction itself. I understand.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Well, Don, you have your mark to aim for.
As I believe I heard him say on commentary, he's busy breeding wrestlers, so they should keep multiplying, as I understand it. I said, Don Callis, that's horse talk.
It's an alarming moment after we recently have been painting this idyllic portrait of like the Don Callis mansion is kind of like a boys' school, and he's like, for breeding. Okay, stop.
So is he like cloning them? Like, is he just gonna have like clones of each one of those guys made?
It sounded nefarious.
I'm too scared to ask. I'm much too scared to ask.
Don Callis is the king of like turning a phrase just ominously enough that you're like, oh my God, somebody should call somebody. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it might be like we were I at least I was like, it's kind of like a little men situation, but it's starting to seem like it might be like the X Mansion, where it's like you go underneath and there's all these like crazy labs and stuff where Professor X is doing stuff that he's like, this is really ethical, but like the more you read of the comics, the more you're like, no, wait a second. Actually, I don't know about that. I think I'm having a couple of moral concerns about what's happening here, actually.
It'll never leave us that one promo Kenny gave where he was like, and Don Callis is always giving me powders. What did that mean? What did it mean? What powders?
He was breeding Kenny.
Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, God. What if this Kenny isn't even the real Kenny? What if
this is a decoy Kenny.
Cloned Kenny. Kenny clone. That's scary, man. But it'll definitely be coming back. Okay. So then we cut to Dynamite. Hangman comes out on Dynamite to cut a post-win promo about Will Ospreay's demise, about how he beat MJF at Forbidden Door. Don Callis comes out. And he had been out earlier in the show with his whole big stable, except for Greg, who's dead, I guess.
Yeah. Where is Trent Beretta? Like, where is he?
Injured again, probably.
Probably popped his damn titty again.
Greg, your damn body. But he'd come out with all his men and they had a big match and he was like, I love all my big men. I love breeding my big boys. Crazy. Don, please. It's a family show. And so he comes out while Hangman's talking and he says, you and I have a long history. You won your first AEW world title from me. The only reason you took it from me is because I had a weakling defending it against you. Don Callis is the Don Callis family. There's some interesting semiotic stuff going on here. And violence erupts. Jet Speed run out to help. They were in this match against the Don Callis family earlier. These boys cannot help themselves.
They love saving people.
They love saving so people.
Much. It's their reason to live. They say, who needs help? We're here.
And I guess you could say, like, they're Hangman's friends now. Well, then show us one of these backstage segments where he's teaching them about how to be a good man. Cowards.
Yeah.
Again, another BTE segment that we need.
Yes. Yeah.
And I guess I must put it in later. I put the BTE stuff in. Oh yeah, it's in here. So we'll talk for a second. But what happened? Oh, Jet Speed run out, and then Kenny's music hits. Kenny comes out. Quote from AEW.com, clean shaven and shirtless. Didn't know that was the kind of thing you commented on AEW.com.
Usually you can't get an adjective out of them to save their lives. Like they'll describe every move, but not one thing about like their personal. But here they too were like, Kenny without a beard is so weird.
It's very weird.
It's very weird.
The funny thing is, I did process that. I was like, oh, I know this man, maybe. Like, I was having a disconnect, but I didn't even realize that it was because of the facial hair until everybody else flagged, like, Kenny shaved. And then I was like, I guess. I just didn't really register as the thing that was different. So everyone's fighting. Kenny and Hangman share a look. We remember their history. They hit a combo buckshot lariat V-trigger on, I think, Lance Archer. And then another long look. What's going to happen with these two guys? And they give each other a big old hug. And it was a more normal hug than Kenny gave Kota Ibushi. So I will say that.
Yeah, it was definitely a more normal hug than Ibushi. It's also, I would say, a more normal hug than the one he gave Ospreay. Yeah. I think he's been practicing. And he's like, I gotta stop hugging people weird. I gotta figure out how to do this.
Maybe he just really loves Hangman.
That could be it too. And you know what? I love where you're coming from right now. I think he does really love Hangman. I also think I think Kenny would never clock I've been giving weird hugs. I think Hangman would be like, hey buddy, you want to practice hugging a little bit before we get out there? Hey, let's just hug for 3 minutes. I know it sounds like a long time, but I think it'll help us reconnect. And when you're comfortable with a man's body, it's easier to hug him. You know?
I'm gonna need you to loosen up and if you could stop grimacing.
just get those wriggles out. When I was a TA, I was a grad student and we had to TA as grad students. I'd never taught before. And before our first class, like me and two other grad students who'd never taught before, we were like really stressed out. And one of them was like, I've been reading up on just like how to have confidence when you're doing like public speaking stuff. And you need to do power poses. And power poses are you just like put your arms up and you do like a really strong stance. And then you just tell yourself like, I'm powerful. I can do this. And so we were just in the grad student offices doing power poses, striding around doing power poses, and then all being like, I'm going to use the bathroom before I teach and I'll do a power pose in there. And that's kind of what I'm imagining. Hangman was like, Kenny, let's do our power hug. Let's have a power hug and let's go out there and do a really, really good hug.
I can do it. I can hug normal.
Yeah, I can hug normal. I can do it. I'll be so good at it. Don't worry about that.
Hangman's teaching him. He's like, what I want to hear you say is, when I hug, I show my love.
And you know, it all paid off because, like we said, really normal hug.
Really normal hug.
A hug that another human would give his friend, you know, which is not always true of Kenny.
It's just a normal hug between friends. And some very sweet pictures after where it really did look like Kenny was like, it looked like he was being like, I did an amazing hug. And Hangman was like, you really did, buddy. That was such a good hug.
Good job.
It didn't help that Kenny's hair is the worst I've seen it in a long time. So he really did give like a really deranged like look to it, you know? Where it did feel like maybe Hangman was like legally his guardian.
Yeah. You know, you remember one time we talked about, and this is kind of a classic, like, yeah, the Tunnel Talk girls would have talked about that. Just about the idea of Kenny being a werepoodle and where he like turns into a poodle when he's upset. And sometimes he gets really upset and won't turn back. And then it's just a depressed poodle getting mats in his fur for months at a time while everyone comes to his dressing room and like, you know, it's like Matt Jackson's there being like, Kenny, you turn back into a person right now or so help me God.
And it's definitely so key to understand that this poodle is the mangiest, dirtiest, like most unkempt dog ever.
And then a bath in like 10 years.
Yeah. But I guess I was kind of imagining in this moment, like I was like that, like they coaxed him out of poodle form finally, and he looked so crazy. And Hangman's like, just don't say anything. Just don't say anything. He'll turn back. He'll turn back. Just tell him he looks great. Just tell him he looks great.
I do think that putting Hangman and Kenny together again is some kind of move from someone to be like, we got to snap Kenny out of this. He's got to come back to work. He's got to get rid of this
handler.
He does need a handler. We gotta put him up with Hangman again. Hangman will keep him propped up.
Yeah. And it is that it's like not that the wrestling is fine. The wrestling is fine, but it's just that it's like we want to see some joy back in his eyes. We want to see him happy. And Hangman said, "Put me in, coach. Put me in.
I can
do this." Leah, do you want to raise this question about Takeshita?
Oh, so I thought that when Takeshita came out to greet Wardlow, he did have a little bit of like a weird look in his eyes, like maybe he wasn't thrilled and like that he like there could be some discord with him and the Don Callis family. And then I saw someone else talking about like because Takeshita won the G1, he was probably turning face. And so I was like, oh, did I clock something here? So do you, Jeremy, do you think Takeshita's going to turn face?
Is she cooking?
She is cooking.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they are doing a slow face turn. I think him and Okada, they've kind of been teasing that for a while now that they don't like each other. And then on Dynamite, they had the whole thing where Okada pushed Takeshita. So I feel like it's going to be brewing between them and the Don Callis family on who the top, Japanese star is in that family. And it's going to eventually come to blows. And I think Takeshita will turn face and eventually probably get jumped out of the Don Callis family.
And do you think we're sending him to Japan full time after that?
I don't know. I feel like he's probably very happy getting that Tony Khan money.
I certainly would be.
And I think him and I can't know if it's wife or fiance or girlfriend.
Wife. I think they did just get married. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they live in Florida right now, and so I think they're kind of like roots are planted here in the U.S. for right now. And he has 3 contracts, so he's already kind of has his foot in New Japan a little bit. So I don't foresee him leaving unless maybe they do get homesick eventually. But I think he'll continue to split time between both promotions.
That makes sense.
Now, he won the G1 by losing to a man named Evil.
He beat Evil.
He beat Evil. Yeah, he beat Evil.
Is that what I said?
You said he lost to Evil.
I can't. What is wrong with me? I'm just like, no one could beat Evil. I think I've done this like 3 times. But trust me, what I meant to say was he beat Evil.
Now, Evil is one man.
One? Yes. Evil is a man, yes.
A man.
What's his deal?
Everybody hates him. And
what's that guy's deal?
Is he Japanese or is he American?
He's Japanese.
He's Japanese, but everybody hates him.
Yeah, it's mainly the style of match that he has. So he has a group called the House of Torture.
Oh, I hear about them. Now, why does everyone hate them so much? This is good. We're learning.
We're quizzing them. We're going to get some answers.
Because they always just run in and interfere in like every match. And there's always the most ridiculous ref bumps and distractions, and all of them seem to have their own little special weapon that they have. And so like one guy has a wrench and one guy has a push-up bar and another guy has a
clue. I'm like, do I love House of Torture? No, don't yell at me. I don't know them.
No, but it's so funny for everyone to have their assigned weapon. That's so funny.
Yeah, they all have their own little weapons. Somebody has like a rope wire, and they have their own little weapons. And yeah, they have really bad matches, and there's always interfering, and it gets really annoying after a while. Yeah. And like when it's sequestered into like the undercard and not an important match, it's whatever. But then when it starts bleeding back into the main event and the important matches, it gets really bad.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. It is very funny when people talk about him because like his name is always like fully in all caps, and then like people will be like, he ruined everything.
Evil ruined everything. It's like, yeah,
that's what evil does.
Historically, theologically, like we all know that.
Ever since that damn apple.
Ever since that damn apple.
Yeah. And so, normally they will try to like play on fans' heartstrings by getting him just far enough to where you're like, oh no, I don't want to see him win. And then he loses. But then this time he actually got all the way to the finals and people were just pissed, including myself. Like I couldn't believe that they put Evil all the way to the finals of the G1. But Takeshi still won in the end, so it ended up being fun.
Did you predict that or was that a surprise?
No, I predicted Takeshi still winning. So actually, there was a G1 contest that our friends over at sportprowrestling.com ran, and I tied for first. And so I did predict Takeshi winning the tournament.
And that's why we're proud to know you, Jeremy. That and many other reasons. Let's quickly, before we move on, just touch on, we've mentioned, Jeremy, you've mentioned BTE, the how useful BTE can be a couple times, which we certainly agree with. The Bucks did post to Being the Elite on YouTube right after we recorded last week, I think, which was like, what the fuck? And they posted, they were having a little conversation about what they should call the BTE trigger, since they're not EVPs anymore, and they kind of circled back to BTE trigger, and then after the Forbidden Door match, they posted another little short where they're hanging out in ropes watching their match, and they get a call that Matt Jackson screens, but then says, maybe I'll pick it up from little Jack Perry. Mm-hmm. They have a bunch of real glass Pepsi bottles on the table in front of them. What do you think about some version of a return for Being the Elite?
I'm super excited about it. I loved BTE, and it was such a great addition to the AEW storyline, kind of what the characters are doing outside of Dynamite and Rampage and Collision and all that stuff. And so, I was very disappointed when it ended and they kind of shifted to being Dark Order, which I didn't really watch.
No, I wanted to because I like the Dark Order, but I think I watched maybe 2 episodes and I was like, this is nothing.
They weren't doing what we needed. I mean, it's like BTE did have some very dumb, funny sketches, obviously, but then every episode usually had at least one little thing where you were like, oh, I wouldn't know that character beat if you hadn't done this. And it actually does impact the way that I'm watching the show, which was so fun. And I feel like people almost didn't talk enough after it ended about how that was in some ways kind of load bearing for the way that the Elite had gotten used to telling stories.
Yeah. I mean, BT was a vehicle for getting so many people over even before AEW TV. I feel like guys like SCU and Jay Lethal and Flip Gordon, so many guys got over on the BTE platform and skyrocketed their careers in Ring of Honor. And then obviously we saw what that did with the actual Elite. And so a lot of those guys, I mean, before there was Dynamite, you had that first Double or Nothing. Like there was no TV, but people knew who all the characters were. There was SCU chants. Like everybody knew all the different guys and all the bits and all that stuff. And so I feel like people really underestimate the power of BTE and the power. I mean, the first All In was pretty much sold off of BTE. All the programs are pretty much built off that YouTube show. And so it was a very valuable tool, and it helped you get to know the characters and made it be a little more personal. And so I'm glad that they're bringing it back in some form.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And I just like, and I like watching it, and it makes me happy. So, and I need more things to make me happy. So please keep posting videos.
Yeah. And one of my favorite matches was the Bucks versus each other in that pandemic match they had at their house.
At their house, that was so fun. They traveled in a bunch of different places, and it was that was great. I really liked. I love that match. I think they said at one point, was it on Swerve's podcast? They said at some point that they do want to wrestle each other on AEW, not as part of a breaking up storyline, just like we're gonna have a match. And I do think that will be very cool if they do that before they retire.
Yeah. It would be funny if they did a tournament where they took the real tag teams who almost never do singles matches, and Toni just put them in a tournament blender and was like, it's tag team singles. That'd be kind of fun.
We have invented that concept at least 10 times since we started this podcast. And in fact, quite recently with Queer Love Ultimatum.
That's different because it really is about committing to each other. This is a totally different thing because they're wrestling alone. It's and Toni's it's just for Toni's amusement as a Roman emperor. He's just fight. Oh, you love your brother? Fight him for me.
You're going to be single for a month.
See how you like it. See how you respect him then.
with the vibes from the recent drama with Jake, where he was like, "Shut up, Sting, get in a 6-man." It'll be that, except reverse, but it'll be like, "Shut up, Nick Jackson, you're not in a tag team anymore."
Obviously would make the most sense if he was just mad at one of the Jackson brothers, but it would be funny if somehow all the tag teams managed to piss him off. They're want something. They're we're not respected enough as tag teams. We want X dumb thing. And he was just well, you know what you'll get? A singles tournament for the next month. And then we'll see if you ever ask me for anything ever again.
There's no tag division. You're all divorced.
I'm throwing these tag belts in the trash.
You're all single stars now.
He can do what my parents did when they took all my books away. They just put them in big bins, and they were like, "You can have these back when you're more mature." He takes the tag team belts, says, "You can have these back when you're more mature. You go to your singles tournament, and then we'll see if you can respect these belts and what I did to earn them for you." All right, let's move on. Nigel fought Zack Sabre Jr. at Forbidden Door and lost. And afterwards, Danny Garcia, who had been invited by Nigel in a collision angle to, I think it was a collision angle. He was like, "I really want you there by my side, Danny," after he'd beaten Danny for this opportunity. And Danny looked not great about it. So when he invited him to come be in his corner, it was like, "Oh, so he can kill you? He's going to kill you at Forbidden Door, I guess." And then after the win, Danny comes into the ring, and he's raising Nigel's hand, and it's like, "Danny, kill now." And Danny didn't kill at all.
I was so positive there was going to be a heel turn.
Yeah, I mean, from the look on his face, from the entrance, I'm like, oh yeah. And then throughout the match, he's pushing the ropes and messing around with the referee. I'm like, oh yeah, he's definitely murdering Nigel after this match. And then it didn't happen, and Dynamite happened, and there was no really follow-up from that either. He had the match with Moxley and lost, and Mox was trying to kiss him for some...
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you for raising that point. And you know exactly where you are, don't you?
We're going to discuss that.
We were going to discuss, and we will discuss that. You know what? Let's just set it up a little bit. Yes, we get this match. I don't think it was really announced that far ahead of time, but we find out Danny Garcia, not having killed Nigel, having been just totally normal, is going to have a fight versus Mox on Dynamite. And this takes us to we're at the 2300 arena. Is that right?
Yep.
We're in Philadelphia, and I'm from Delaware. Delaware, I always say, is a feudal state of Philadelphia, but I don't often feel really strong Philly pride. But that crowd, they were freaks. And I said, "Thank you. Yes, I come from there almost."
I know a lot of people didn't like how small the venue was. I loved it because I loved, I felt like the crowd was so much louder and like more visceral. You know what I mean? I liked it. I had fun.
Yeah, I thought it was so fun. You couldn't do it every week, obviously, but I thought it was so fun.
We're going to do it for what, the next
2 more
4 weeks?
Yeah, I think they have 3 weeks there. Yeah, so 2 more weeks there.
Yeah.
So Danny has this match versus Mox, and I thought it was pretty fun. It was a good match. He almost, I think, manages to get Mox to tap out. At one point, it seemed like borderline, but then Mox doesn't. He ends up pinning Danny. Danny's really upset. And they're by the ring. They're by the ring, and Mox is now, Jeremy, let's have you describe it in a little more detail. What did you see?
So they're going back and forth, they're arguing, and then all of a sudden Mox is like making a move on him. He goes in for a smooch, and Dane's like, no, whoa.
The vibe was that Mox was like, oh, this is happening. And Danny was like, what's happening?
Yeah, it was very much like you're at the club and like Moxley's like hitting on the girl, and the girl has no interest, and he goes in for the kiss. Yeah. And it's just like, whoa, what's happening here? Like, no. Like,
and
I got a boyfriend.
Mox is like, but we've been having a blast all night. This is
He's like, but the way we were grinding on the dance floor.
We were dancing quite suggestively.
I was buying you drinks all night.
It was such a flabbergasting moment, especially because, and I'll say this is a great episode of Dynamite, and it was, I'm sorry to say, it was a sexual fever dream. Every other minute, something was happening that was like, where did this energy come from? Where have you been hiding that away? Mm-hmm. Mox was on one. He was on one. He leaned in like he was like, I'm going to nuzzle him all over his neck and his ear. I can't wait to kiss him inside his ear.
Like, come here, big boy.
We've been building to this all night. And Danny is like, I thought I was going to beat you, and nobody respects me around here. And I do not want to make out under those conditions. This is not the time for this, Jon Moxley. And then Mox is just like, oh, okay, sorry, my bad. And he gets out of there, and Yuta stands there and is also giving Danny this crazy look, because it's like, that's your dad, basically. And he's giving him this look like, yeah, he's like that, isn't he? You responded well, though. I'd love to get to know you a little more. It's like, you already know him and you're acting crazy. You're all acting crazy.
Oh my gosh.
The Death Riders got freed from the title scene, and they've just gotten unhinged. It's like they're all doing mushrooms all the time, and that's the most complimentary thing I can say. Like, incredibly complimentary. But like, at any time, you're like, yeah, I have no idea what Mox and Yuta are up to. They're doing something.
They're slow rolling these storylines that I just every week I'm just like, not to be an idiot, I don't really know what you're doing here, but I love your enthusiasm, and I love that you're happy. I love that you guys are happy again, because it's better when you're happy.
Yeah. The light has come back into Jon Moxley's eyes.
It's kind of like his vibe was like, when I had the belt, they wouldn't let me kiss anybody. They said no. They sat me down. They said the network and our parent company, Skims, said no kissing. But now that I don't have the belt anymore, I can neck with anyone. I can French all I want. I can French any part of you on TV. And everyone's like, well, don't do that.
As soon as he lost the belt, I am free.
I'm free. I'm free. No one can tell me anything. I'll kiss everybody. He sent a notice of intent.
On my bullshit.
He sent a notice of intent to all male wrestlers. He's like, you get in a ring with me, we're going to kiss. Yeah.
And my wife can't stop me.
She can't say shit either.
He's like, I've never tried to stop you. I wouldn't try to stop you. You do your thing. It's your business. Oh my God. Okay. So Yuta has this funny moment, and then we go to commercial, and then we come back, and Yuta had like left, I think. And he came back and was like, and another thing. And he gets going with the Philly crowd. We know Yuta's a Philly boy. I always think it's quite sweet when people get to do a little hometown promo. And he was doing a promo for Heat, and thought some of it was successful and some of it was a little less successful.
He started the promo pretty sincere and was like, I started here, I wrestled here, I loved it here. And the crowd was having absolutely none of it. It was not a Long Island crowd where they were like, he's our scumbag. No, Philly was fuck you Yuta-ing the whole night.
And he one had said, I guess, oh God, okay. No, okay, let's finish this and we'll double back. Anyway, he's going through this list. He's like, okay, I don't mind. I'm evil. I've done lots of evil things. I killed my dad, Chuck Taylor, who I would love to see, Dustin. It's your home city too, so would love to just see a little proof of life on, we've got 2 more weeks. So just see you backstage in an ill-fitting shirt. That would be perfect. That's all we need. And then he said, and just a reminder, I murdered Bryan Danielson and became him. Okay. And at this moment, some music hits and the hook signal goes up and it's what was the song? Does anyone know?
It was, I didn't know it.
Slow.
I didn't know it and I didn't like it.
Yeah, it was like some like Frank Sinatra sounding like jazz music.
Did not care for it. I know Action Bronson turned out to be kind of a douchebag, but like it was a better song. It was a better song.
Yeah.
I was so I was like, I don't know what to do with this. Hook comes out and it's like, did you love Bryan Danielson? And I don't remember that. Like, is this about Bryan Danielson? And can you answer that for me? Was it?
Did Hook ever interact with Bryan Danielson?
You love him,
I don't think he did.
I felt like the way I don't think he did either. It felt, though, like he was, like, back there, and Yuta said, I killed Bryan Danielson. He was like, and that's the last straw for me, Hook. So I've got to come out there, which is confusing already. And then he gets in the ring, and then he killed Yuta so easily that it was almost like I was confused.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, Yuta, did you even try?
Who was feuding with Hook before he left? Who gave him that concussion?
I think it was Death Riders.
It was Death Riders. Okay.
Because he was part of the ops, and they were going after.
Oh, okay. That's right. Okay. He was part of the
general
ops.
Death Riders stuff.
Okay. All right.
I don't think that translated.
And then there was the one match where like Hobbs replaced him at the pay-per-view, and then he came out and helped the ops during that match to win the trios title or something like that.
Oh yeah, and Samoa Joe tried to
you were
fist
there.
bump him.
You were there.
Yeah, I tried to fist bump him, and Hook was like,
and he
no.
Left.
But then we never got a promo or anything where he was like, this is why I'm mad at Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, well, Jeremy, you've been very useful. Usually we just ask these questions and then we don't know.
You've been so helpful, but somehow the answers have made me more confused than ever. But you had the answers, and that's huge for us.
Sarah always complains that she listens to us try to remember something, and she's yelling the answer into her car speakers. She's like, "It's this," and she's like, "And you can't hear me, and none of you will ever Google it."
You never get there, and we never will. Okay, and then the other thing is that Darby had this promo on Collision, and this is the other reason, or not on Dynamite. This is the other reason that I'm like, he came back from Everest, and Toni was like, could you just maybe keep it under wraps for a couple weeks, just be really contained for a couple weeks, and then I'll let you be free. Because the second Toni set him free, he said, art film budget, art film. And Toni said, I heard you the first time. You can go talk to Christopher Daniels about the art film budget. And he made this film where he's painting with his own blood to a classical music background. So the vibe is, and it's very like, it's kind of cleanly shot for Darby in a way that it's like, this is NBC's Hannibal. So what you're doing is you're, for some reason, recording an NBC Hannibal promo. I think about maybe you may want to French and or eat Jon Moxley, and you wish that he would agree to French and or eat you. In return, maybe.
I didn't have the Hannibal reference, but I was watching the promo with the very strange vibes, with the terrifying music in the background, and just being like, I missed you, buddy. Hey,
I know.
I missed you.
Yeah, I was not surprised at all when the vignette played. I'm like, yep. Darby's back.
He's back, baby. And he said, hey, and in case that didn't convince you, I'm fighting Claudio in the main event. And what I told Claudio ahead of time was, anything goes. I want you to brutalize my body. If you can think of something painful to do to my body, by all means, do it.
Yeah.
And he did.
Yeah. I feel like Claudio has like way too much fun throwing Darby around.
Claudio got that permission and ran with it. He said, I can do things to your body. I will launch you across the building.
It was, I actually don't always I never like dislike Claudio's matches, but I'm not always, in fact, I'm often not that interested in them. I was riveted for every moment of this one. I thought Claudio played his role pretty perfectly. And to have it happening in that tiny venue, I got rip shit in the middle. And I think I said in our group chat, I was like, I would murder and kill to be in that venue right now. I'm so angry that I'm not watching this in person.
Yeah.
It reminded me. So Darby used to wrestle here in Ybor in Florida all the time in this little bar called the Orpheum, and they would fight around the bar. He would jump off like the balcony of the bar, and so it reminded me of that kind of energy of like a small crowd, and you're fighting all over the place. He's just jumping off of stuff, and so it was wild and chaotic. I loved it.
Yeah. Oh man, that sounds so cool. And this was so cool to watch. And
I can't imagine what it's like to watch Darby wrestle in a bar where like there's no one telling him he can't do stuff, so he just does it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. But he was really back on his bullshit, and to me, hugely complimentary. Had a great time.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on and check in on the women. So at Forbidden Door, we had Mercedes in a 4-way with Bazilla, Alex Winza, and Persephone, which she won with kind of a sneaky victory roll. I think like most of the match, she was kind of like, not like, but like the vibe of the match was a little bit like, okay, stop. I have a lot of belts. Stop beating me up. And then she did manage to pull out the win. This was great because we got to meet 2 new women, and we were obsessed with both of them.
We were obsessed with both of them. That was a great 4-way. I had a lot of fun. I know I saw people saying it was like, I think someone said it was floppy or something. And I was like, I had the time of my life. There was 4 hunky women.
I know.
Moving around, like they were just like doing like I just thought it was like a bunch of really fun to watch spots. So I was very into it.
Yeah, I enjoy the match a lot. I came away a big fan of Bozilla. I've heard of her, and I've heard like Rich and James review some of her matches, but I had never seen an actual match of hers, and I was like signer, poacher.
Yes.
I know. I feel a little bad that every time we meet someone new, I'm like, Toni, can we have them? And it's just like, well, they're people and they can plan their own lives, and I understand that. But at the same time, Toni, can we have her, please?
I know. Yeah. Sometimes it does feel like Forbidden Door a little bit is like show me your wares so I may go shopping.
Yeah, but I thought Bozella was awesome, man. She's only 21 and already super impressive. She's gonna have a lot to grow, and definitely want to check out more of her matches. But yeah, she was a ton of fun to watch. Persephone, we've kind of seen her in the AEW ROH universe a little bit. She was cool, and Alex Windsor's getting over. Windsor.
I love that she keeps shouting it like in the matches. That's so cool.
I wish I knew if that was her, like, was that her gimmick on the indies? Has she always done that?
I don't know. Yeah, I never watched any of her Rev Pro stuff, so I'm not sure. I don't think it was.
That's amazing that she showed up. She did it like once, and everyone immediately was like, love that. And she was like, oh, you love it? Yep, I'm happy to do it. That's an attitude that I really like.
Well, at All In, when her music played, I like died laughing. Yeah. It was like, Windsor. I was like, that is hilarious. And then it just grew from there.
Yep.
And it turned the funnest thing that you can do. It's not just the Windsor, it's when you go, Windsor, Windsor. And I've been saying that to myself a lot.
It's got to the point where I think it's disrespectful when commentary calls her Alex Windsor. I'm like, that's not her name. Say it right.
That's Windsor. She's a Pokemon and she loves to get pinned. So I loved that match. I loved meeting those women, and Mercedes managed to win. And then Mercedes had these like Buckingham Palace guards come out with her to the ring, and each of them was carrying one of her belts. And I have to say, no one has in our time in wrestling done such a good job having a bunch of belts and finding different ways to display those belts as Mercedes. Mercedes is knocking it out of the park in that department.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She's just so creative about it.
She's great. And I think she picked up the Rev Pro women's title while she was over there. Does that sound right? She had 8, now she has 9.
She has a new one. I thought it was something weird. Wasn't it like Slovakia or something?
That was, I think that was 8.
But it was because she had already won the Rev Pro
okay.
title, but the match was on a Rev Pro show.
Okay.
It was like for another one of the European.
Yeah.
I forget which one it was now.
Yeah. I saw someone, I think it might have been our friend Emmy, saying that there's some kind, like you could see perhaps some kind of character thing where like she's going for less and less prestigious belt to distract you from the fact that she lost her chance at the AEW one, and she's like, pay no attention to that. I've won the Chuck E. Cheese belt.
Well, if you want to win a lot of belts, it's like not every Pokemon can be a Mewtwo, Yeah. So, and I think that's a good one, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, Mewtwo's a good, yeah.
Yay! Yeah. So she brought her 9 belts to Dynamite, and I do keep thinking the Lex Luthor quote to myself. Mercedes stole 9 belts. That's 3 threes. That's so many belts. And she kind of ragged on Alex Windsor some more. So I think they're going to fight some more. And she called Renee dumb, which is unacceptable. Great heel behavior.
Yeah.
And then also at Forbidden Door, Toni and Athena had their big match. Toni ended up retaining the Women's World Championship. I liked this match a lot. No objections to it. It is kind of funny, though. It is yet another, like, in the Toni Athena feud throughout. We've just been, like, having a great time, not learning anything about anyone. So not a huge amount to say, but no problems. Loving what you're up to. And I would say this was the same.
Yeah, this match was okay. It was it was fun to watch, but there wasn't too much to like comment on.
Yeah, pretty much it felt like Athena was kind of bullied for the whole match, and Toni was fighting from underneath and had to kind of overcome Athena, and eventually did. And so yeah, it was a very good match. I know a lot of Athena fans were upset that she didn't win, but I don't know. I feel like now it's not the time to beat Toni yet, and she's not the right person. And so
no, I would want. And we do always want this, and sometimes people are like, chill out. But when Toni loses, I would like it to be on something where there's a bit of a story and where you're seeing some character growth and change, hopefully from both women in the feud. And this just wasn't really that. And I'm really not saying it as like a big knock, because it's not like they were like trying and missing. They were just like, it's pretty straightforward. And it was like, it is. And that's fine.
Yeah, and I feel like she just beat Mercedes at All In. Like, you're not going to have her immediately lose.
Yeah. Yeah. I did, when the feud first started, I did think that there could be a chance, because especially when she had the contract, I assumed that there might be a little bit of trickery to like protect Toni, but I thought that it would be interesting to have Toni lose to Athena and let Athena have a 3-month run, and then have Athena wrestle Mercedes, and that's how Mercedes gets it, because then you can set up Mercedes Toni again later, but with the champ reversed. But the second I kind of saw how the feud was going, I was like, oh, there's no way that Toni is losing the belt when this feud is like that, like low key, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I did come out of this though with like a renewed, like Athena and Mercedes had really interesting, fun chemistry in this. Yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, let's go back to that. Well, let's keep revisiting that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they'd already had great chemistry in their actual match too.
Yeah, their actual match was great. And them trying to work together. Like, I could watch hours of that, of the Athena trying to like project manage Mercedes, and Mercedes is like, you can't tell me what to do.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Okay, we also had, so we have this collision clip. Leah reminded me to watch this, and when I did, I was like, oh yeah, this is everything to me. We had this collision clip where Kris Statlander is standing outside the male extras dressing room, kind of looking upset. Harley Cameron shows up and is like, did you get your $100,000 from the Young Bucks yet for winning that match? And Kris is like, no, they keep bouncing the check. I love that the idea is that the Young Bucks pay you directly. It's like, okay, startup environment.
I also love the fact that it's all of these like money matches that TK is doing, it's all coming from the Young Bucks.
Specifically it's them.
But the fact that it's that TK is like, okay, it's all coming from the Young Bucks, and you can go get paid by the Young Bucks, and the Young Bucks are like shit, you can get paid from us. It's just like a taunt. But anyway, Kris is like, no, they won't pay me. So Harley goes in to try and be like, pay me, and it's just like, no, they said next week, and Kris is like, they always say next week, and then Mox appears on camera, looks at her, looks at the male extras dressing room, just makes this, I mean, his sexual energy since losing this belt is just off the charts. It's just like, wow, you're so hot right now. Just makes his face like, oh, God, I got to do everything around here. No, hasn't said a word. Marches in there, marches back out with the cash. All the Death Riders have joined and are just looking at Kris like, Dad's getting it. Don't worry, Dad's got it. Mox comes back out, slaps the money in her hand, and leaves. And it's just like, and that's how you get it done. Meanwhile, Kris has spent the whole thing, because the second the Death Rider showed up, she's shoved Harley behind her to protect her, because she loved to protect women. Mm-hmm. Everything about this was like, no idea what's happening. I couldn't be more aroused. I love it. I'm obsessed with it.
I also find hilarious that the Young Bucks just have $100K just sitting on
in
them.
Cash. Mm-hmm.
They're like,
walking around money.
They're like worried that Toni can access their accounts, so they're like, we took it all out. When we're traveling with all of our cash now.
One suitcase just full of cash.
Just full of cash, and that's everything. And that's going to work out great for us.
Oh my God.
Kris's face the entire time that was happening cracked me up, because it was just like, it was the epitome of I'm so scared and so horny. Like, she does not know how to respond to Mox when he's doing, like, he's at her, it's like, what's your vibe? What's your intention going on right now? She has no idea. She has no idea. And I'm obsessed with it. And I feel like Yuta had the exact same vibe he had with Daniel Garcia.
Exactly,
where he's just like, yeah, that's Mox for you, huh?
It's a proprietary smugness where he's like, now you see, this is the joy of being a Death Rider. He'll get the job done. And they're both like, well, I guess it's different responses, because Kris is like, I literally don't know what's happening. And Danny Garcia is like, he tried to French my ear. So I don't know why you're making that face at me. And you're just like, yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. And how lucky you were.
I will say, I would like to see a little bit of movement in this whole Statliner Death Rider story.
Yeah.
The feeling it's happening on and off. And I'm like, all right, is she joining or not? Like, where are we going with that whole story?
And it's weird that it's segmented from whatever's going on with Willow. I feel like she's somehow telling two simultaneously stories where she's like getting tempted to the Death Riders by Mox, but Harley and Willow are pulling her to the light, you know, in the ring. And so it's just sort of a little bit, I'm not quite sure what's going on with her right now.
And I'm slightly worried that I don't understand either of the storylines fully now, because there was a match, Stat and Harley fought Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford on Dynamite. And I think, Kris won, but then got jumped by Megan Bayne, and Willow ran out for the save. And then Harley Cameron was there being like, my friends can be friends. Like, you're both here. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I didn't think that is where we were at, because also apparently they were in a match. They were in the 0 hour, and I missed this one. But it's the recap said Stat accidentally knocked Willow out in that match. So I'm like, I don't really understand. I don't think I understand what's going on.
No, I really don't. So they're
it's like kind of this will they, won't they be friends, but it doesn't seem to be a real focus some weeks. And then it's like, oh, remember, hey, they have something going on. It's like, what is going on?
Yeah, right.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, no, don't worry. I'm noticing that something's going on, and I like that. I'd love a little clarity. We've said many times, it's like, you know, a good rule of thumb is like, you want to learn one new thing every week, or you want to have one new question every week or something. And I do feel like in both these storylines, that hasn't happened at all. I enjoyed lots of what I see, not complaining about it, but confused.
Exactly.
Okay, back to Forbidden Door. Hurt Syndicate, Jet Speed, and Brodito have their tag team titles match, and Brodito won. And I did not think that was going to happen. I thought we were in for FTR Reign 3 for sure.
I really thought that, because I thought that they were then going to fight Christian and Cope. So I was shocked that Brodito won.
Happy.
Yeah, that was a great surprise. Yeah, I thought FTR was going to win. Yeah, to eventually set up. I mean, all the match is still happening, but I thought it was going to be a tag title match.
Totally.
But yeah, very happy that Brody and Bandito won and got the belt off of Hurt Syndicate.
Oh yeah.
Well, I certainly hope so. We did see them again this week.
Dude, on O&R this week, Rich Latta was like, "You will never see the Hurt Syndicate again." And I said, "Rich, thank you." And then I turned on Dynamite this week, and what did I see? The goddamn Hurt Syndicate. So I would like a personal apology from Rich Latta.
Maybe you'll get one. Hey, maybe you'll get one. Rich is a nice guy. He might give you one. Do you guys want to speak to the way that Brodito won these titles?
Oh, yeah. That ending was very sloppy.
Take us through it.
They've been trying to do this whole like wheelbarrow, like monkey flip where Brody will like monkey flip Bandito onto the person to get the win. But I feel like it never works the way they want it to work. And like half the time, like Brody's like too close and Bandito's like has to be like, come more this way. And I don't know. Then they went for it on the pay-per-view and like Bandito like slipped off.
Oh no!
One of the FTR guys, and then like it was like 1, 2, he slipped off, he had to get back on. 1, 2, it was just a hot mess.
Sometimes you've gotta celebrate the outcome and forget the way that we got there. I believe now had Hurt Syndicate completely disappeared at this point.
Yeah, so Ricochet and the Gates of Agony came out dressed up in New Japan tracksuits and attacked Hurt Syndicate and fought them off to the back.
This was so first I was like, I have no idea why that's happening. Then someone reminded us like it's because of they're affiliated with MJF for some reason now. And it was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then later someone was like, and I think Ricochet himself said this, that when he tried to join the Hurt Syndicate were MVP was really mean to him. And so then that's why it happened. That actually made more sense to me than the MJF thing. I will say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was a backstage YouTube thing they did where he showed the video of when they embarrassed him.
And you know what? Sometimes those humiliations do stay with you. I will say, not unexpected that the Hurt Syndicate couldn't take that pin on their own. Think they probably should have. And I don't think we have to hand it to ISIS, Dax Harwood, for taking the pin. I actually don't think we got to hand it to him. I don't have to hand anything to that man.
But at the same time, I'm sort of like, listen, one of these teams has grown, like
you're right,
we never thought Dax would take the pin. But
you're right. Okay, we do have to hand it to
a little bit. We want to encourage the behaviors we want to see.
There's progress.
That's right. That's right.
Oh God, I can't believe.
Listen, as an FTR fan podcast, we have to give it to.
We have to celebrate our kings. We have to celebrate our kings. All right. Well, our kings FTR then opened this week's Dynamite with an in-ring promo expressing their frustration about the loss. They cornered referee Paul Turner to be like, actually, I don't even know what it was. Harwood insisted that he was pinned by the illegal man during the tag team title match, and he said to take it back. And Paul Turner's vibe was like, it's kind of done. I don't know, show's kind of over. So
it's been several days, bro.
It's like, I don't think so. And so then Stokely was, yelling at Paul Turner. Everyone's yelling at Paul Turner. People start pushing and shoving. Adam Copeland's music hits. He runs on out, loves to save. And then, luckily, this is huge for us because we hate listening to that sing-along, it gets cut off because Christian also has come out and snuck around the other side of FTR. So then they're both attacking FTR. Stokely's maybe in there somewhere. And it was not a union-mandated break for security because they sent every man in the building out there to stop these two old guys from beating up FTR. It's like, let them cook. Come on. You want 18 men out there stopping it? Let them cook.
It is interesting the ratio of security for certain segments compared to other segments. It's like, all right, man set on fire, 0 security. 2 old guys beating up one of the top tag teams, all the security.
I know. And then the inverse is like, if we look back like 8-10 months or whatever, it's like FTR beating up 2 old guys, no security. That's fine.
Yeah, they were allowed to put the concerto, on Cope, but not the reverse. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to find out that there have been a number of meetings, hopefully convoluted meetings, that people kept being like, we should get X in. I'm back in corporate mindset. We should get X in on this meeting. So it became impossible to get anything useful done, where they were like, let's just create a flow chart that you can easily check to see if we should send security out. And the result of these convoluted meetings was a flow chart that is so wrong. It's unbelievable, but everyone's like, we can't have any more of those meetings. So I think we've got to stick with that flow chart for sure. And it's just hung up by Gorilla, and people are always like kind of watching how something's developing, looking at the flowchart, and then looking at each other being like, yeah, we're not going to be able to. I know, I think we should send people out too, but according to the flowchart, no, it's cool if he sets them on fire. Yeah, it's okay.
That's totally normal, not a big deal.
Yeah, Bryan Danielson's getting choked out, but it's fine.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but it's just the flowchart. It's like, that's okay. What are we going to do? So they kind of drive FTR from the ring. Cope and Christian drive FTR from the ring, and we have this very funny segment where Christian hops on the mic and is like, says at Forbidden Door, we took care of my problem. Now it's time to take care of Adam's problem. Dax, I understand you have a father. And Cash, I understand you have a father as well. And everyone has a father. Nothing special about that. But Cope takes the mic from him and is like, oh, come on, you don't do that. And Philly is like, no, let him do it. And Cope looks around and he just goes, you're a bunch of sickos. And then he hands the mic back. So fucking funny. And Christian's just like, and your dad's dead.
Yeah, your dad's dead. No, it's so funny for Cope to continually be like talked into like the asshole side. It's makes him so much more tolerable to be around. For I'm like, yeah, when you're having fun, you're way better than when you're stick up your ass, like, pull yourself guy.
I also find that the whole like their reunion so weird because Christian was literally trying to kill you, like. And end your career, and now you're just like, all right, buddy, talk about awkward hugs, like him forcing to hug Christian. Christian was like, no, like
yeah, he tried to end Cope's career, and then Cope said, find yourself. You're like, go be a better person. Christian came back and said, I've decided not to. And Cope said, oh, you scamp.
Oh, you scamp.
Oh, you're so cute.
I can't stay mad at you.
I forgive you.
It's funny. I think that this works better the more that Cope is just like, oh, you're an asshole. And that actually is pretty fun. I forgot that is pretty fun. And because he is an asshole, like his face character is an asshole. So it's better when he's just like, I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
But it's also, oh God, I lost my thought again. Guys, I don't know. Something about Christian. Who cares?
It sounded like it was going so smart too, though.
I know that it always is right before the thought completely leaves my head. I think I was going to say that I think that it would be kind of fun if Christian leaned a little more into like you're right. It's like, it is crazy that he was trying to kill Cope, and Cope is just like, I'd really like to team with you though. It would be great if Christian was just like, you realize you're very pathetic, right? You realize that you're pathetically obsessed with me? Like, oh, I've been your lifelong friend, like, blah, 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 lot of sob story. Like, it's really sad. And Cope was just like, oh, you scamp. Like, if you just leaned into that, Christian is like, this is sad. And Cope's like, maybe so. I don't know.
I won't acknowledge that.
It's funny that it's starting to, it's kind of working. It's kind of working for me at this point.
I know. I thought that they did a terrible job of the actual reunion,
really bad.
But the stuff afterwards has been kind of entertaining.
Yeah. And then I think the only other thing that we have here is, maybe together we can figure this out. So they're going to have this match in Toronto, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do people think that is a retirement match, or is it is there going to be a retirement run for the two of them? I know we don't know, but like, what's the talk on the street?
Be shocked if this would be a retirement match.
That's still really fast.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be the start of them just teaming more. Like, I can definitely see them versus like the Young Bucks at some point. I think they're going to try and get like one last tag run out of this.
That would make sense. I guess I'm just like confused about FTR kicking it all off because I feel like in my brain I'm so convinced like that FTR like want that last match that I'm like, well, so you're going to come back to that but it does seem like it would be really fast if this was the end in any way.
It would be very FTR if they have it in their heads that they're going to outshine the Darby and Sting ones. They're like, when I retire to old men, I'm going to do it way better than the Bucks ever did it.
Yeah, it's like, which of you is going to jump off a sky-high ladder through that pane of glass? That going to be you, Dax? Okay, that was our final topic. Is there anything you wanted to talk about that you didn't get to talk about? And Jeremy, I know there were some other NJPW stuff that happened in the 0 hour that we didn't get to. So if you have any thoughts, feel free to throw them out there.
Nothing too crazy. I mean, on the pre-show, you did have the War Dogs. They lost to the Ops for Trios title. Thought that was a fun matchup there. You had Ishii killing Lance Archer on the pre-show. And I'm trying to think, was there any other...
Desperado?
Desperado was on the pre-show on an 8-man tag. Who did you team with? It was Despy...
we have it somewhere, but I don't know where.
I'm blanking now on the match.
Desperado.
Oh, it's Despy, Yuya, and Jet Speed, I think. No, Paragon.
Yes. Yeah. Paragon versus... Action Andretti, Leo Rush, Hechicero, and Josh Alexander.
Yeah. And you got the pin there, and then Kyle was trying to celebrate with conglomeration, and Roddy wanted no part of it.
Oh, I have to go back and watch that. Yeah, I didn't realize there was an interesting plot point there.
I don't know where they are going with that.
No.
Did you even watch? I missed the Paragon Bucks match on Collision.
I missed that also.
Yeah, I watched the clips of it that our pal Chai Mothboy put together. And it looked very fun. I do need to watch it in full.
Yeah, I want to watch it too. Yeah,
because it did look very fun.
Were they doing anything plot relevant with the conglomeration stuff? Do you think, or just good at fighting each other?
I think they were just. I mean, it wasn't in the clips that I saw. It wasn't anything. It was mostly the Bucks, but Chai Mothboy also clips knowing that I want to see the Bucks.
Of course we want to see them. But it doesn't matter if it's plot relevant. But I'm very interested. I don't understand.
I think there was something weird that happened where like they somehow, I think somebody helped the Bucks win. There was something screwy, I think, that happened in the match. I think.
Okay, we'll go back and review the footage. Yeah. We will educate ourselves.
Allie, one thing that I do want to talk about is how beautiful Kip Sabian looked.
Oh my God! Right.
In his Forbidden Door match.
Okay.
He was wearing bridal lingerie down to the ring. He had a beautiful white lacy robe.
Kip Sabian, you deserve. I hope that you have the high self-esteem that Wardlow has because you deserve it. You deserve it. You are the most beautiful man in wrestling.
Yeah.
What a little king.
And he was so happy to bleed. Like he was beside himself with pleasure at being able to do that.
There was a lot of white gear at Forbidden Door. It was I think I said at one point it was tonight's theme bridal. And maybe
there was a theme board in the backstage. All right, y'all. Hope you brought white. Tonight's theme is bridal.
I really would love it if I don't know. I don't know that I want it to be Toni, but I want someone to be like, we're starting to hand out themes and we want you to come in gear for the theme, like a kind of Spirit Week thing. And I want people to complain about it, but then get really into it. You know?
I can see Chuck Taylor being the one to hand down the memo.
Yeah. Well, Chuck Taylor loves an outfit. He loves a group outfit. He's the one, I don't know if you know this, Jeremy, he's the ringleader between all of the best friends, like outfits that they've ever worn, matching tracksuits and the astronaut gear and all. Like, he was on Amazon ordering some of that stuff.
Such a lunatic. It is completely right that it would be Dustin in his backstage role being like, we're going to start doing theme weeks. And everyone's like, you don't even have to go out on TV. And he's like, I know, that's what makes it so great. I assign the theme, you dress for the theme.
And I watch you.
That's our boy. Jeremy, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Yes.
No problem. With a pleasure.
And Keeping It Strong Style is so fun. You can hear Jeremy do all the work, and Josh is his color commentary. Trish also always compliments how smooth your intros and outros are.
Oh, yeah.
I think she desperately wishes that she had your skill on that.
She does great.
I've seen the cutting room floor.
Leah's like, oh no, she doesn't, but that's okay. We all bring our own certain energies, but I will say, Jeremy, you have a more smooth and together tone than some of us. Some of us bring kind of a frantic energy to our role as the podcast driver. You always seem like, I've got this under control.
Yeah, very calm.
Thank you.
A sure hand on the wheel.
A sure hand on the wheel. So if you want to keep up to date on what's going on across the pond, you can go check out Keeping It Strong Style on the Social Suplex Network. I think on that note, is there anything you want to pitch before we leave, Jeremy? Any other endeavors?
You can check out our Patreon, patreon.com/KI Strong Style.
Yes.
Josh is doing a big Tanahashi retrospective series leading up to his retirement. So you can check that out. Plus, we do our live streams on there and ad-free version of the shows on there as well.
Awesome. And there's a total possibility that you could get some dancing on there too.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe. Okay. On that note, I have been Allie.
I've been Leah.
I've been Jeremy.
This is Tunnel Talk. Our theme is by Chris Corkin. You can find us on Twitter, Tumblr, Blue Sky, and somewhere else.
I'm fucking up in front of Jeremy.
I know. It's just, he's too good. It's too scary. You can find us on Twitter, Tumblr, Twitch, and Blue Sky at Tunnel Talk Pod via email, tunneltalkpod@gmail.com. You can find us on our feed, on the Social Suplex Network feed, where you can check out all the other great podcasts on the network. And you can find us on the Social Suplex Network Discord. Please rate, review, and subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. Stay frosty, and please come back next week.